obvious now, we have Mr. James Barbush, Advanced Communicator Bronze. Mr. Barbush is going to give version 2.0 of his icebreaker speech. And the title of his speech is Evolution to Revolution. I don't think we need a readout of the purpose of the speech. And Mr. Barbush says, since attending my first Toastmasters meeting in June of 2006 and giving my first icebreaker speech in December of 2006, and since retiring in 2010 in August from an engineering career and launching into my own ventures in many things, it's time to give a new icebreaker speech, a re-icebreaker speech, an ice crusher speech, since I am no longer the same person I was 7 years ago. Thus, James Barbush with Evolution to Revolution.
Evolution to revolution. I got a couple little friends here I picked up today on the road. You know what these are. Little brown and black woolly bears. They're caterpillars. Pass these around because they're part of the speech. Get them the whole way around the room. Caterpillars go through evolution in their lives. In the beginning, they're crawling along, doing their little jobs, eating their vegetation, and doing what they do. And they probably do that for quite some time. But then there comes a point where they find a comfortable little place, maybe under a leaf or a twig, and they hook themselves to that. And they hang there. And then this cocoon is created around it. And they probably don't have the foggiest idea what's going on to them, because they're going through a change. They get put into this cell, into this closed, dark place. I wonder if they're even awake or aware of what's happening to them, because they're changing. And then there comes a point that things start to happen. Their body starts to change. And they go through some squirming and some difficult feelings, and they're changing and changing, and eventually this cocoon comes off of them, and you start to see this little critter come out, and eventually, in some species of caterpillars, it becomes this beautiful butterfly, and it probably hangs there for a little bit and flexes its wings, and then eventually flits out. Evolves into a creature that can go where it wants and do what it wants, and even though it gets hit by the wind, it goes all over, but it's still going. That's kind of revolutionary. And I have compared my life to that process. Not my whole life, but my career, where I've been since graduating college in 1972. The first phase, the caterpillar phase, I'll call it, from 72 to 2010, 38 years as a civil engineer, doing all kinds of great things, like that caterpillar crawling along in his life. Designing things, designing bridges, building things, inspecting things, crawling around bridges, inspecting bridges, seeing all kinds of construction going on. You probably drove across a bridge I designed. You probably drove under one. If you've driven to the turnpike towards Pittsburgh, you've driven under one. So watch out. My PE seal's on that, the only bridge I ever sealed. So 0 to 38 years. Now in the last 5 years of that, 2004, I started to launch out into speaking. I had a message. I had a message called Do Something Different. and I gave it. But then I joined Toastmasters in the summer. And then in December, I gave my first icebreaker. And I went through a transition, like this caterpillar starts to go into this cocoon. I went to this transitional phase in my speaking. And I was speaking once a year at conferences. By the time I was done there, I was speaking 10 times a year. And I said, when I retire, this is what I want to do. So in 2010, the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education said, here's some money. You retire, and you can have this money and have your retirement, and we'll save some money because we don't have to pay you anymore. I said, I'll take it, because I was 60. So at that point, 2010, I launched into a 3+ year period, 2010 to today, October 2013, of speaking, doing conferences, doing something called Harrisburg Biz Leaders, Leadership Development. Created something called Barbush Enterprises, which is writing proposals for other engineering firms. But speaking was the focus, speaking about leadership, speaking about how to help people, how to encourage people, how to strengthen people. And a lifelong learning process that led to that. But something happened in November of 2012. Something just stopped. And it ended. Maybe I went into my cocoon. The caterpillar went into his cocoon. What's going to happen? What's going to happen in the third phase of this life, however long it is, from this moment to wherever, of course, let me put this in like, to wherever. I don't know. But I know this. I want to start a revolution. Why? Because we need it. And I've been experimenting with getting messages out, getting videos out, and all kinds of things. Doing the videos, doing the writings, doing the postings on social media, because we need a revolution. You know what's going on in our country today. You know. We all know. And what's going to happen? I'll tell you what. If there isn't a change, it's going to get bad. Then are we going to be ready? Are you going to be ready? Are you going to be ready? Am I going to be ready? So what I've been focusing on for the past approximately 10 months is one thing. And it is this verse that says, seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. He's telling me, he's telling us, seek it first and foremost. Seek it before you do anything else, and then your whole economy will be taken care of. What a message. Elections aren't about the economy. They're about moral issues. So I want to start a revolution. And this right here is the beginning of that revolution. I'm not going to hold back anymore. The message has gone out. We need it. When people go on to that website and put in all their personal, medical, and everything information, what do you think is going to happen in 5 years? What do you think it's going to be like? When the government knocks on your door and says, we're doing this to you, what are you going to say? Because you know what? I think it's going to happen. Unless there is a spiritual revolution that brings about a change that can turn this whole thing around. And even if it doesn't get turned around, I believe I and many others like me who have sought first his kingdom and his righteousness are going to make it, because God's going to create that economy. And I'm hoping for the day when I get a message that says, go down to the lake and get the fish and pick out the gold coin out of his mouth and go pay your taxes. Could that happen? We need a revolution. revolution, and I invite you to come along. Where's my little buddies, my caterpillars? I'll, I will let these little guys go. They might be brother and sister, husband and wife. Let me ask you, are you with me? Have you thought about it? I'm serious about this. This ain't just a speech. Are you with me? Because we're in trouble. But there's a way out. There is a way out, and it is revolutionary. You guys, I don't know if you ever be butterflies. Anybody know? Yeah. Evolution to revolution, we are there. Thank you.